are you doing, guys?
Good.
So, all right. So, how was it watching the show with an audience? We should have had popcorn because that was amazing. They have popcorn. All right.
Did you have wine as well? See?
I did.
You guys,
Me too.
this never happened.
No,
This never happened. You're seeing this 6 days before the
this
world.
is unheard
Yeah.
of. Like the amount of
Yeah.
spoiler.
Shonda won't let
protection.
us say stuff.
Well, that's it. And also, this is also probably unheard of before. Is a scandal panel of all men.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Men of Scandal.
Yeah.
So what we're actually doing is we're lining up for the calendar, the scandal calendar.
Yeah.
First of all, and by the way, Cyrus getting all sorts of young tail. Like, what is up? That is amazing.
I tease. It's most.
was no
listen,
tease.
listen. It's mostly true. My wife, Linda Lowy, is a casting director of Scandal, and
You just tell
I
her I
only
want that
partly
guy. I want that guy.
Right.
Yeah, I only partly tease that's why I work. But she does yell out to her office, I need another hot guy for my husband.
Wow. Yeah. So I feel like we have like the good and evil here. You know? They're the good.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cornelius,
So I don't
down
know.
here.
After
Cornelius, what were you claiming? I think
I had claimed earlier that this guy fights for justice, but I represent it.
There you go. And these two
Make sure that it
tear it
happens.
apart. Tear it apart. How do you, I know a lot of actors.
make sure that there's still room for justice.
A lot of actors, yeah, they create reasons for the other two. A lot of actors will say their characters aren't villains, they aren't bad guys, they're making bad choices. These are bad guys, right? Like worst father ever.
Yeah.
Like
No,
ever.
wait.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, given all that he tries to provide Olivia, how could he possibly be the worst father ever? She's not exactly from, in terms of our relationship, the huggable kind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Cyrus.
Cyrus needs to go to marriage school. Big time. And somebody didn't give him a blue ribbon at third grade. You know,
He got something else blue, but not a ribbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So-
third grade?
It's totally different convention.
Clearly from the analyst couch.
And-
Something happened to me in third grade.
And David is the guy who you pretty much know that if he shows up, he's going to be the guy who's going to try to do it right.
And end up taking the L.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I feel like he's the unsung hero of all of them.
Well, let's sing him.
Yeah, let's sing him.
Come on, let's sing him.
I feel like this story though is really going to give you a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to dig for the truth. He's a deeply flawed individual. Yeah. That said, he's become the Attorney General of the United States, as he likes to point out, without any evidence that he's ever won a legal case. So I think that is an impressive feat.
Right. And just this week, I feel like
Oh, who needs evidence in America?
the escalation.
Right.
Yeah. And yet there's so much.
Yeah.
Your character, we saw an escalation of his career this week. Do you think that maybe he is in a position to be corruptible?
That's a great question. I think, power is very tempting. And you see how when someone gets power, how they react and what people do to get the opportunity to access power. So I think we'll see Marcus kind of deal with that. He's gonna have an opportunity to have power. We'll see if he'll accept it, and whether or not he does, how that kind of affects him in his journey moving forward. I think at the White House, he has a new job, and He's left OPA, but I think that he's going to continue his gladiation, if I can make that
Okay.
a word, from the White House. He's gladiating now from the White House.
Well, he gladiated this week.
Didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He got his gladiating on a couple times.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did on top of the desk.
Is everybody taking in Cornelius's sock and shoe game?
Well, it's
Which is
amazing.
particularly strong tonight.
Oh, what? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
When did you find out that Marcus and Melly were going to have the greatest baseball lesson ever?
I found that out at the table read, like pretty much everything else we find out about the show. Even with Marcus and Melly, I mean, the initial spark was a surprise to me. Everything is a surprise because it's not like we get an email or an advanced copy of a script. So when we all kind of come in, we say our hellos and we sit at the table collectively and turn the first page, and it's the first time for us all. So a huge surprise. I think you guys will be excited and kind of engaged in what's coming up next. There's so much. I mean, every episode we cover so much, and yet there's even more, if you can believe it. So really exciting stuff coming up.
And this him leaving OPA, it's almost like you leave the cocoon and you get in with the sharks.
Right.
You know, like no one's safe after they leave that conference room.
Well, I think the interesting about Marcus is that, when we saw his character, he is really someone who sets the bar, the moral bar for the rest of the gladiators. He came in OPA and kind of shake things up. He set the bar, but raised it and held all the other gladiators accountable. I think you can suspect, just based on who Marcus is, for him to kind of take that over into the White House. Right. Set the bar, hold others accountable, and lead by example.
Well, we did not expect David to get together with the vice president.
You should always expect David to get together
which
with
was
everyone.
one of my favorite. But that was one of my favorite storylines.
Just a matter of time.
Again, all of these people with these incredibly high-pressure jobs, they all have time for two lovers. Like, their schedules must be packed.
I've done the triangle. I'm ready for a rhombus.
A rhombus. All right. Well, then you might want to start going over to Cyrus's place because he's got like a revolving door.
If asked, I will serve.
And now, Joe, Rowan, yes, he is a father who takes the worst tactics possible, but of the men that his daughter has gotten involved with, who would you say he would want her to be with?
None of them.
None of them. Gun to his mouth, who would he go with?
None of them.
Yeah. All right. And now
And you also realize of these characters, I'm the only one that's never had a lover, which is why Rowan is so good at what he's done. There's no
distraction.
No distractions.
See? You wouldn't have bungled the assassination. Yeah. So, all right. This is a very interesting time for you guys, for anyone to be on a political show. A very interesting time. Has it gotten to a point where you're sitting with your scripts or with Shonda or the writers or anything and just thought, wow, reality is actually starting to outpace fiction?
Well, I mean, you told a story earlier about the line that you had about the Constitution, which sort of...
Yeah, I was watching Thursday night's show, and 5 of the first 6 episodes of this season were shot long before election night, and I watched myself come in, down a glass of wine, and say, the Constitution's going up in flames. And I thought, wow, I don't know if I realized at the time that the Constitution would be going up in flames. So it just speaks to Shonda's sharpness and prescience and that of the writing staff that they're on it, maybe ahead of the curve.
Yeah. How has this changed your interaction with the fans? Because now it's a dialogue. People are talking about what's happening in Washington. You guys the show's very active on social media. Has that changed the tenor for things?
Well, I mean, I think it's part of the world that we're now living in. That line came up, as he said in the episode, and what I tweeted out was that for as many times as the Constitution has gone up in flames, it always manages to reconstitute itself, and that eventually may happen here as well. So it does become part of the dialogue. It does become part of. It's sort of with Scandal, it is the periphery of what we're talking about, and in the world, Scandal is the periphery of what's going on.
What is the weirdest interaction you've had with fans online or at events or anything?
I like to fight with them online.
You really do.
I don't know if you picked up on that.
You really do.
I like to stir the pot. There's a Yiddish phrase, a kochleffel. Somebody likes to stir the pot. I feel it has a benevolent effect on my personal life. I don't have to fight with my wife and kids. I can get it done online with fans of the show. So I did it this week by tweeting Olitz pictures and saying, scandal's on in 45 minutes, and just a picture of Tony and Carrie together. And that seemed to inflame a certain number of Tumblr denizens.
Wow. What was their beef with this?
They don't like the false hope
Okay.
that I throw out of an Olitz reunion. There's certain people who want to watch the show that they want to see rather than the one that Shonda has decided to make. And so I have a fun back and forth with that.
And you kind of feel like, have you not met Shonda? She's not going to give you what you want. She's going to do what she wants.
Yes. Last night, today's Friday. Last night, someone was tweeting, Shonda, petition, kill off David Rosen. And I wrote back, well, as you know, Shonda makes all her firing and hiring decisions based on online petitions.
Yes.
So good luck with that.
Yeah. What about you? Because, I mean, I can imagine that people are very protective of Carrie's character.
No, they are. I mean, I think with what's going on now, obviously everyone believes that somehow I'm involved with what's going on. So that's mostly the kind of tweets I'm getting these days. I mean, I think when I meet fans out in the world, usually everyone says, why aren't you much nicer to your daughter? Again, I give her everything that she wants.
And you, I can only
Well,
imagine.
what was it last night? People screaming in their tweets, "Are you crazy, Millie? Don't even look in his eyes.
Right.
Don't even listen to him."
Honestly, I was like, that
How
girl,
can-
she's a gold medalist in bad decision making.
Yeah. Don't even let him finish the sentence. The horrible liar. Yeah, so there's all that.
And I'm guessing you're getting a lot of the cheering on.
I'm getting a lot of cheer. A lot of people have been wanting something, or I guess speculating something going on between Marcus and Melly. And I think last night,
Or Eminem, as I like to call them.
Eminem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got a lot of love, a lot of yay, finally, oh my God, you better do it, girl. Go on ahead. Lean in. You better get you some, Melly. I got a lot of that last night.
When you were at that table read for this Thursday night's episode, when you got to the scene where she has the meltdown, were you surprised that the turn she took? Because I was kind of sad for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's always surprising. Which meltdown are you talking about?
The one where she breaks off with you. She breaks.
Right,
she
that
accuses you,
meltdown, okay.
Where she wears her crazy on the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that. It kind of caught me off guard. I think that I was wishfully thinking that something larger or greater was going to happen, and I guess they kind of left the door open. You saw Marcus put himself out on the line. Let him know he let Melly know he misses her. I think it takes a real man to kind of put his feelings on the line and let yo boo know I miss you. I miss you, baby. You gotta, it takes a certain amount of fortitude and manliness to kind of not only put your feelings on the line, but we saw Marcus shed a tear. And he was connected to the vision and to the movement that was happening, and so. I think on both sides, you saw Marcus really we saw a different side of him and him put himself really out there. And it looks like he got poped at the end, kind of got left hanging. That's
Right.
not what's up when you put yourself out there. Poped.
P-O-P-E-D, okay.
Poped.
I thought I misheard.
Yeah, poped. So, and I think that really kind of put the ball in her court. And Marcus made himself known, but by no means is Marcus gonna wait.
Right.
He's not a man. He's gonna keep it moving. He'll keep pressing and moving on to the next thing. So, hopefully Melly gets her act together. If not, I'm sure Marcus will
Live as free.
keep on.
Yeah. All right. So you guys all have had these great emotional, tense scenes. I mean, this whole episode was like one giant tense scene for you. What's the worst thing that's happened during these filming of these tense scenes?
I was too preoccupied trying to remember the lines to call this the worst. But Dan Bukatinsky, who played James, tells me that my little, just leave it at little.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to finish that sentence.
Well, you know, we got almost naked, right?
No.
Right? A couple seasons ago for hardcore Scandal fans, and the premise being, you take off your clothes because I think you're wearing a wire. No, you take off your clothes because I think you're wearing a wire. And in the filming of that, we had almost nothing on, but I guess a little sock. Okay.
A little sock.
Yeah.
Like a baby got
That's how the
sock.
sentence started. Little, yes.
Dan's might have been big, but you know, I'm trying to be honest. Mine was medium size. You know, medium size sock. And Dan tells me it fell off.
Like a baby sock?
On
Oh no!
take 3 or 4. You know.
Fell off?
But
And
I
you
but I
didn't
thought,
notice?
No, I had no idea. I thought, oh, what a brilliant concentrated actor you are, Jeff, or how terrified you are that you can't remember the lines, because you just don't know when your little sock has fallen off.
I think for me, it wasn't the worst thing that happened, but a funny story. Filming the second episode in the love scene, my mustache came off. Right? It just kind of totally disappeared, and we had to stop. And I'm telling you, the whole crew was searching everywhere because they only made. I don't know. People got confused last night with the flashbacks I saw. Like, wait, what's happening? But you know, Marcus, as a press secretary, he has no facial hair, and obviously OPA, the flashback, he had facial hair. So everybody was looking for my mustache, and they could not find it. But it was in Bellamy's hair and her.
Oh no!
We found it.
Yeah. Josh.
Yeah, I guess love scenes are the worst. I'm always asking Shonda, well, maybe just to wrap it up with me altogether. I think America would be happy. I'm in my 50s, enough with the shirt off. But if it's going to happen, if she could give me a few weeks' notice, I will, you know, I'll eat less.
Yeah.
But she doesn't famously tell us anything, and she always seems to tie in them that I'm always filming them right in that Thanksgiving through Hanukkah heavy eating months.
Yeah.
So I'm always. Normally, I don't care how a scene is blocked. Whatever the director wants, the other actor, fine, let's get out of here. But on the love scenes, I'm like, could I be in bed with, say, the comforter up to here?
Sure. And a pillow.
Yeah. And generally, they oblige. So if you watch any love scene that I'm in, you'll notice, like, right at that first fat fold, that's where the comforter lies.
And Joe, I imagine you probably get spit on a lot because all of your tense scenes seem to be opposite a table. There's always a table between you and somebody who's yelling at you.
Oh, usually I'm doing most of the talking.
Yeah.
So, no, see, I don't have love scenes, so I don't have anything to worry about in terms of embarrassment or crazy things. It
Just Joe and a dinosaur.
That's it. Just me and a large dinosaur, you know, wearing no sock.
No sock. Yes. Okay, so is there anyone on set who is their sole job is to keep straight all of the twists? Is there somebody you could go, I need to talk to Joe because he knows what happened in that episode?
Yeah. So, an absolutely given part of almost all of Hollywood television and filmdom are a couple of jobs. One is a script supervisor, who keeps track of the continuity of shots, does a lot of things, actually. It's a wide-ranging job of listening to the director and going, these are the takes we're going to take, and which of the 3 cameras we're operating during that take, and da-da-da-da-da. And so the script supervisor keeps track of that. On our television show, and probably a lot of television shows, one of the staff writers is assigned to set and either has a lot of that in her or his brain of plot line and past plot lines and on their laptop, or is a quick phone call away from the writer's room and the research assistant and go, what the heck in season 2, episode 3 did we say about so-and-so? Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that person probably can think of nothing else.
You know,
With this show, I mean, just to
Yeah.
keep track of this episode.
yeah. Yeah, I remember especially early on. I remember Tony and I having a lot of scenes together, and us half of the time going, remind me. No, man, you remind me. What we did this was the order of what happened. Da, 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 da. And then a really kind of enjoyable actor part of it is speculating side and backstory. How did we get to this, and how did we do that, and what might have happened? And
I consult my dad a lot. He's
super
he's like
fan?
my external hard drive of scandal backstory. So I'll call him up like, Dad, Citron card, talk to me. What was that? Don't you remember when? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us, because all the episodes begin to sort of meld together. So a lot of us just forget. I mean, we came out to watch this. I couldn't remember what this episode was. So I came back out to watch it because I thought, which one was that? So they all begin to sort of become one long part of your life, and you forget what happened in what episode.
And she's doing a lot of time jumping, Shonda, is this
Right.
season.
Yeah.
So there's another whammy.
I know, because starting this episode, I was like, oh my God, we're even further back now. But no, we're closer to the inauguration now, so he's still in place, yeah. Frankie's still dead, but we're seeing a lot of him. Yeah. All right, we're going to go to audience questions.
I'm Boyce. I'm a dramatic writing student from Savannah. This is really a question for you, Jeff. So you've been a part of Shondaland for, I guess, over 10 years
yeah,
now,
long
really?
time, right?
And so, man, that's kind of a thing that we all kind of share is that we got to watch this empire form over the past, growing up.
yeah.
Could you talk about that a bit more? What's it like to kind of have this studio family that keeps bringing you back? And I guess you too, Mr. Malina, because you were, I think, a guest on it a couple times.
Please call me Mr. Malina. I like
Mr.
it.
Malina, yeah.
Well, Joe and I were talking to Lindsay, the SCAD archivist, about an hour or two ago, and we had occasion to kind of go, well, if Shonda grew up in a different generation, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and Joe and I come from a lot of theater, she would have been, I'm just sure, one of our great American ensemble play writers. She loves the group drama, like the Lillian Hellmans and Clifford Odets, if anybody's a theater geek and can think back that far, right? And she is a word-loving writer. All the scripts are word-drenched. And so that this would grow into Shondaland, I mean, look, she has mad skills. The characters all have dimension. You believe the environment. There is a great populist in her, of a beach novel, read of I must turn the pages. I can't believe it. Oh my God, this is soapy. This is jumping the shark. I don't believe this. Wait, what happened? So there's a lot of range of skills there. That this is growing into a television empire. I have no idea how you write a single episode of television, much less, be in charge of 5 shows or something. Because the hours that it takes you guys, and you who are studying it, the hours to actually write. Josh, you've done a lot of work with Aaron Sorkin, and you guys go back a long time.
I was going to say,
how did they do it?
I've been very lucky to be part of Shondaland and Sorkinville.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of similarities. They both write these great, hyper-articulate characters, dialogue-heavy shows. They're both absolute pros who crank out script after script. Shonda, I don't know how many shows she's got going currently. Aaron wrote 79 of the first 80 West Wings. And one thing I would say, it's a great question, and especially since a lot of you are students, it's not lost on me that I've been blessed to have 2 great talents employ me over and over. And you should do the things that make you appealing to people who can employ you over and over. Whether you're good or not, or whether I'm good or not is subjective. Some people like me, some people hate me, but I do some of the things that I know people like Aaron Sorkin and Shonda Rhimes are looking for, and they're pretty simple. Know your lines and show up on time. And I'm not kidding. If you're an actor, So much is intangible, your talent and your work, and you got to work on all that and your craft, but do the things that make you the kind of person that someone wants to hire again and again, and some of them are pretty simple. Do your homework and be prepared.
My name is Brittany, and I'm an advertising student here. But the question is really for you, Rowan. So I've been following Scandal since the first season, and all of your scenes are very intense, and everything that you say is very intense. I remember one season you told Olivia, like, I am the hell and high water. And we went around the office saying that and actually got T-shirts made. So do you ever break character, or is it hard to remember all of those lines, or like staying in character doing that?
Well, that's what Josh was saying. You show up to work knowing all of your lines, and you show up on time. That particular speech was the beginning of season 3. It was the first time that Shonda had written me a monologue like that, and I think it was the beginning of something that she decided that would be part of this character. When I come to work, I mean, I know that OPA, for instance, when they go to OPA, there's a lot of laughing and carrying on, and they have a particular rhythm and a particular style that actually works for them. When Carrie and I work, it's really interesting because we both show up. We never talk about the scene. We just, we start rehearsing and we just go right to it because there's so much involved in getting those scenes done because the relationship is so complicated and so layered and so intense that it's just the number of hours it takes to shoot it, I pretty much just sort of stay focused.
Hello, I'm Ashley, and I'm a performing arts major at Savannah. And my question is if you have any tips for upcoming actors.
Do theater. I mean, if you can do theater, you can do anything. I mean, a lot of young actors make the mistake of thinking, let me do film and television first. And what happens is you may have the personality for it, you may even have the skills for it, but you're working in a much smaller, sort of naturalistic style. And if you can do theater, if you can keep a character fresh for any number of weeks, 8 times a week, then it's my opinion that you can do at that point anything.
Great advice.
My advice, I would say to actors is your destiny, where it is you see you're headed. One, I would say have a clear picture of what you want. The vision is very clear for what you want, whatever that is. Start with that clear vision, claim it, and present it and own it as a fact and not a suggestion. A suggestion is something that you can, take it or leave it. Maybe, maybe not. But you shouldn't have that mindset about your destiny, about what it is you want to do, where you're headed, what you're meant for. So approach it as that. I think faith and follow through will get you anything you want in life, and that means anything. If you believe it and see it and work hard and follow through, then there's absolutely no reason why you cannot obtain it.
Just to piggyback really quickly on what he said is 2 things were mentioned here. Josh mentioned preparedness. People often say, you're lucky to get such and so to happen in your career. Luck, in my opinion, is opportunity meeting preparedness. That's number 1. Number 2, in terms of what he was saying, for me, there are 5 questions I ask myself, which all of you ask yourselves every single day, whether you are aware of it or not, and those are the things that will get you to sort of move ahead, and that is, who am I? I mean, really, who am I? Where am I going? Who do I expect to meet? And the last 2, which is what he was talking about, are the most important. What do I want? And to what extent am I willing to go to get what I want? And if those things are the things that sort of propel you in life, in your careers, I think you have a greater opportunity if you are prepared to get where you're going.
And thank you guys. You guys, thank you so much.